Hello and welcome back to the Dune Minute Podcast, your place to dive deep minute by minute into the cinematic adaptation of Frank Herbert's world of Dune. I'm one of your hosts, Zach.
And I'm John.
We are here on this Thursday episode, and we're talking about some, we're finishing the bomb talk, or at least the bomb scene, anyways. We're talking about minute 98 through 99 of Dune Part 2. And we left off with Chani being super concerned.
Rightly so.
Yes, rightly so. Looking at Gurney and Paul as they're salivating over these atomic weapons that they've discovered. And Paul's in on it too because he's smirking. He's got a big smile on his face.
It's not the same amount of a smile. It's more of...
It's not
honestly, I don't know if I would call it a smile. He's more just like... stoic about it, just straight face, just looking up at everything. It looks like in his brain he's trying to like mentat calculate his way to understand it.
Yeah. But we don't stay with him very long.
No, we cut to something new yet familiar.
It's a closer look at something we saw very early on in the movie.
Yeah, minute like 2 or 3.
Something like that, yeah.
It's Irulan's Shiga wire recorder.
Yeah. Now this looks so one, cool as fuck. 2, it looks so much like an old Edison wax cylinder.
It's like an Edison wax cylinder meets a tattoo gun.
Yeah.
Because it's like a multiple needles carving the galak into the steel.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Super cool. Love this design. We are back on Khitan with the Imperial Palace, which is what in real life? I forget.
It's the Breon Sanctuary.
Breon Sanctuary, thank you. And we hear something. She's, as any good diary entry goes.
As any good historian, archivist,
yes.
Even.
She gives a date and what she's doing, and she gives the date of 10,191.
Eighth comment.
At
the top of the movie, we were third comment. So she's had 5 additional comments.
In this year.
We don't know what they are, but we know that time has clearly moved in another way of describing. However, I have beeves.
Okay. Can I say what I was going to say before we get to your beeves?
Sure.
Now, maybe our beeves are connected. Maybe we have connected beeves.
You never know.
10,191. So what that means to me is that less than a year has passed since the beginning of Dune Part 1 to right now.
Unless the changeover happened at the start of a year. Because we know that we are in a less than a 9-month period. Mm-hmm. And if the change happened in, say, January, February, or whatever the equivalent of the calendar is at this point, and the year is still within that time period, it still works.
That's some mental gymnastics that I'm not prepared to do.
What do you mean?
I don't quite understand.
Okay, so Dune Part 1, at the start, we get year 10,191.
Yeah.
Let's say start of the movie is, January, February, March, even.
Okay.
March would be pushing it, but we're still there. We know that we are less than 9 months from the very start of the movie because Jessica is still pregnant.
Yep.
And 9 months from March would be December.
Sure.
But because we are less than 9 months, let's say Jessica is, 7.5, 8 months pregnant, right? That puts us end of October, early November-ish.
Okay.
Still technically within that year.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's been less than a year since the beginning of Dune Part 1.
Right. Oh.
That's what I said.
Well, no, the thing that it sounded like when you had your beeves was that it didn't make sense that it would still be 10,191.
I agree that it doesn't make sense that it should not still be 10,191, but that's because we didn't have the time jump. It's just crazy to think that we have confirmation now that
that it's still within
within the 1 year.
Yeah.
So that's the beginning of Dune Part 1.
Well, I mean, we had that confirmation just from the state of Jessica.
I know, but this is a firm confirmation that it is still the same year.
Okay. We're arguing about nothing.
Yeah, and I'm right.
Fuck you. So am I. Anyways, year 10191, 8th comment. Now, my beefs.
Mm-hmm.
I went back to minute 3 when we saw all of, Irulan recording into her Shiga Wire recorder earlier. There are literally no changes from the shot then to the shot now. Same positioning, same outfit, same hairstyle, same shoes, same desk, same lighting. It is all the same. They literally just shot them back to back and then just cut them around. And I understand that that's how editing works and that's how, film production and shooting works. But at the very least, they could have, given Florence Pugh something different to wear, or maybe did something with her hair to show that time moves forward. But also, I guess if you're an Imperial princess, you're probably well kept in getting haircuts and everything routinely, so that way your appearance doesn't change too much.
Or comments 4 through 7.
You think she's just doing them all back to back?
Maybe we've been seeing what's been happening in comments 4 through 7. Is this all? Is she just the narrator of this entire movie?
Well, I mean, she's kind of.
I mean, yes. The answer to that is yes.
Yeah, I was going to say,
are we seeing what she's been dictating this entire time?
Would be cool.
That would have been a cool twist had they done anything with it.
What a twist!
Have we now caught up to the present?
I mean, Irulan is the keeper of, or I guess the historian of all of Muad'Dib's doings.
I mean, yeah.
And she will cuckold him. And he'll say nothing about it.
This is a theory that just came into my head as we were been talking. But
I like this theory, though.
I want to think about it more.
No, I like this. That Denis, Dune Part 1 and Part 2 is just the narration of, or it's the acting of Irulan's record keeping, which the book is. Every chapter of the book starts with something from Irulan's.
Most of them do, yeah.
Histories.
Yeah, most of them. There's some that start with Paul, but yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Or at least, I mean, so we don't get her narration in Part 1. We only get it in Part 2. So after the Battle of Arrakeen.
But third comment at
True.
the start of Part 2.
True.
First comment could have been the transfer of ownership. Second comment would have been everything that happened after the Atreides landed on Arrakis.
That's true. I like it. So at what point do we catch up to the present?
New theory just dropped.
It's got to be, when she's present and acting on screen, not doing recording stuff. So, we're getting to the point where
I think
maybe at the end of this week or maybe midway through next week is when we would catch up to present.
No, I think catching up to present is when Shaddam and Irulan go to Arrakis.
Yeah, I agree.
Because at that point, both Irulan and Paul are in the same room together.
Fair. Okay. Let's keep that in mind.
All right.
I
like this.
Yeah, let's keep that in mind.
New theory just dropped. And it doesn't not make sense.
Yeah. Poke holes in it. People listening, poke holes in this because I like this theory and I'm happy to be wrong. But I think it's a cool one.
Yeah. Genuinely, I would love to hear if people have ideas about that.
Yeah.
Anyways,
but
can I read the comment?
Yes, of course.
Okay. Reports from the south of Arrakis arrive rarely. These are barren, burnt lands hidden by sandstorms with a stretch of 1,000 miles across the equator. Nothing can live there without faith, which is why our Bene Gesserit missionaries have been so productive there. Through them, we are receiving reports of a mysterious figure taking grip on the imaginations of the southern fundamentalist tribes. A new Reverend Mother from the north, spreading word of the imminent arrival of the Lisan al-Gaib, the voice from the outer world. With religious fervor rising in the south and Muad'Dib strangling price reduction in the...
That's where it stops. That's where it stops. So a lot of stuff happens as she's given this voiceover.
Yeah.
So let's go backwards a little bit and talk about it. So some of this is stuff that we've heard.
Yep.
Like the storms protect the south.
1,000 miles across.
Yep. But there's also things that we have not heard. Like there is a firm Bene Gesserit presence in the south already.
Because the only thing that will keep you living there is faith.
Yep. So this did two things for me. This illustrated how just uninformed the Harkonnens were.
Correct.
You know, we already knew that there were a ton more Fremen than they ever estimated.
Mm-hmm.
But the fact that the Bene Gesserit knew this, and not even knew this, they were active there. They were already there. They were doing.
They were
their
boots
stuff.
on the ground.
Yeah.
Just fucking cooking up some prophecies and shit.
Yep.
Yeah.
Just the Harkonnens were so out of their depth with everything. One thing that is carried over from Dune prophecy is the fact that the Harkonnens, at least as we know them, do not have a truthsayer. They do not have a Bene Gesserit assigned to their house. Now that is not a theme having a great house have a truthsayer on staff is not something that we see in these movies at all. Jessica is, yes, a Bene Gesserit, but she's also the concubine of Leto.
She is the bound concubine of Leto the First. I almost said of Leto the Second.
No.
That's not true. Leto the Second could not care about sex at all. He is worm and wife with Hui, but
So
I love that worm and wife.
yeah, Jesus. So
It's what he says.
I know it is. It's
It's what Hui says.
It's just silly.
It's not what Hui says. Anyways,
Having a truthsayer in your house is not something that we see in the movies, but it is a really big point.
there's an exception to that.
The Karinas have one.
Gaius Helen Mohiam is explicitly referred to as truthsayer to the emperor.
Yes.
So
Yes, and that's the only time that it makes sense.
Yeah,
that they
'cause
would
he's
have
the
one.
emperor.
Yeah, they would have one, and other people don't. So maybe something happened between what we see in Dune prophecy to now, to where the Bene Gesserit do not assign sisters to the great houses for council anymore. Mm-hmm. Maybe they don't do that. But we do know that the Harkonnens do not have one. If they do have if other great houses do have truthsayers, the Harkonnens don't. It makes me wonder, if they did have one, would they have been able to get this information out of her and being able to, and would have been better informed about all the activities in the south of Arrakis?
I would imagine so. Mm-hmm. But that comes into question of, okay, so at the end of the day, the Bene Gesserit sisters that act as truthsayers to the houses, while they are loyal to whichever leader of that house they serve, they are undoubtedly more loyal to the sisterhood.
Sure.
So that begs in the question, does this hypothetical sister inform Baron Vladimir Harkonnen of what is happening down there, or does she hold out in favor of Missionaria Productiva?
The latter is probably true.
Yeah.
I would
And that's what I was going to get at, is like, ultimately her faith is going to be, or her allegiance is going to be towards the sisterhood first.
Yeah. And
Sisterhood above all.
Yeah, I was about to say that's a thing that it was hammered into us in prophecy.
And it makes me curious. Are we in Prophecy Season 2 going to start seeing the foundations of Missionaria Productiva in place on Arrakis?
I would hope.
I still, it just came back into my head, but the shot of the Highliner coming out of space
Just beautiful.
That was like the one like thing that I was like, holy fuck, with Prophecy. So
Anyways, we'll get there. We have plenty of time to get there.
yeah.
So,
I have beefs.
okay, go for it.
I have more beefs this week. And this is more on a production and, audio design. But the ADR cut from when Irulan says, eighth comment, reports from the south of Arrakis arrive rarely, to these are barren, burnt lands, yada, 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 is so jarring.
I missed that.
And it's only because I think I went back and listened to it several times.
Okay.
But it is noticeably a very different microphone, a very different mix, and it's just like really off-putting. However, only because I'm insane and I go back and, rewatch 5 seconds of this movie at a time. So
Yeah, I didn't catch that at all.
it's a weird ADR jump.
Okay. On screen, what's happening is Jessica's palanquin. I think I said that word right.
Yep.
It's being carried, so we get her in her seed pod, and she's being... they didn't show us how they got it off the worm, cowards. But she's being carried up to this, like, very Petra-esque temple, massive structure carved into like a mountain, basically.
Would you like to know more?
Yes.
All right, cool. This is the Temple of the Maker. It was carved into a mountainside. And Art and Soul has some really cool concept art that didn't fully make it into the movie, where it was like a giant square sitting on top of like a pedestal. We don't get that shot exactly here, but you can see like the very clearly squared off edges around the entrance and everything, because with the way that this minute ends, we're looking into the entryway of this temple, and it's just like in Siege Tabor. There's Chakobsa carved on the walls and everything, and it's those very like hard edges, 90-degree turns and everything on on all the surfaces. So it's that same uniform structure that Sieges have for their architecture, but this time more overtly on the side of on the side of a mountain. And then we've got like a whole slew of tents and everything in front too.
Yeah.
Seemingly pilgrims.
Sure. I'm glad they didn't do that.
The giant square thing?
Yeah.
Yeah. It would have looked too weird.
Well, no, I mean, I think they could have made it look cool. It's a little too on the nose.
Okay.
So the Fremen are obviously like...
yeah, I guess if they're
Arabic.
trying to hide...
Well, yes. I mean, in universe, that would stand out like a sore thumb. The Fremen are very obviously like Arabic coded culture, right?
Sure.
And that would have been like, hey, here's our Mecca, which is a giant cube.
Yeah. So I'm showing you.
Yeah. It looks cool. It looks really cool, but I'm glad they didn't do it.
Yeah. I have some other notes on the Temple of the Maker for tomorrow's episode, and then a lot more for later episodes. And I would rather talk about those in subsequent weeks, just because it's when we're going to see more of it. But just looking, at the amount of, there's more pictures that I'm looking at in Art and Soul right now, and like the amount of detail that goes into the outside facade structure of all of this is just so insane.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like you have a half circle carved into the wall, which is split down the middle by the entrance, and it's like textured really like uniquely with a bunch of holes, which we talked about in Dune Part 1 because we saw a similar structure there.
Yeah.
Because that's a thing that's taken from real life, where, there's a bunch of holes carved into rock faces and buildings in like Iran and Iraq. Mm-hmm. And these are buildings in our world that are hundreds or thousands of years old.
Right.
And it was a way for convection to happen to allow cool air to come in and hot air to be blown out. So it's like You're seeing a lot of the natural things that humans in our world have discovered to, stay cool in these hot, arid places.
Yeah.
All of it to say, it's a really, really cool set, and it's a new set that we haven't seen yet, and I'm excited about that.
We always love a new set.
And to your point about the palanquin being carried, that was something that we talked about with Alicia in some of the Art and Soul notes there. How instead of having people in front and behind it, there's people just off to the side carrying it as well.
Yep.
And we see Jessica again for the first time in a hot minute.
We do. We see Jessica, and she is in her full Reverend Mother garb. Tattoos, full headdress, got all the jewelry on.
Notably the same clothes that she was wearing when she left Paul. So it makes me think that what we're seeing here is maybe not exactly happening at the same time that everything else that we had been seeing earlier this week. Maybe this was a little bit of a flashback.
But if it's narration from Erlon, it could be whatever order she puts it in.
Yeah. Who knows? But yes, we do get to see a little bit of Jessica here as well.
Yep.
Just kidding. No, we see her. She's getting out of the palanquin and everything.
And as it's passing, people are bowing down to it. This is the point where Erlon is talking about a new religious fervor rising in the South.
Reverend Mother from the North.
Yeah. Yep.
Yada yada.
Yada yada yada. Jihad. So yeah, and we end.
What's going on in there, Kramer? Galactic Jihad, Jerry. You wouldn't understand.
Oh man, that's a Seinfeld episode I would love to see.
Kramer gets sucked into Muad'Dib's jihad.
Yeah.
What would George be doing?
He seems like a guy who accidentally got a job in the Spacing Guild.
Way in over his head.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was giving a steering job, and he's just like, ah.
Yeah, but somehow he just fails into success.
Yeah. Elaine finds herself being treated as a Reverend Mother.
Exactly. Yep. And I don't know, Jerry and Stilgar kind of have the same vibe to me.
Oh, God.
All right, cool. That's all I got for this minute, man.
All right. Well, let's say we wrap it with that. The Dune Minute is online in a couple other places. You can find us on Blue Sky. We are at duneminute.com, and you can email duneminute@gmail.com if you'd like to get in touch with us that way. We'll be back tomorrow to wrap this week up, and we'll see you then.
See ya.